which inspires the lower mind. The four states of mind, especially the higher mind, the illumined mind, the intuitive mind, and the overmind. Here again, we should remember that always the higher level controls the lower level. This is the universal law. The physical plane is controlled by our emotions. The emotions are controlled by our mind. The higher mind is controlled by illumined mind. The illumined mind is controlled by intuitive mind. The intuitive mind is controlled by our mind. All these states of mind can be controlled by truth consciousness, which is mentioned in the Vedas, but the approach towards the truth consciousness was never given a clear outline, was for the first time for humanity given by Sri Aurobindo, calling the truth consciousness as the supermind. This truth consciousness was already found to be existing, even though the approach was not very clear, when we have in our national way of thinking, Satyameva Jayate. Satya here means the truth consciousness. It is not the physical aspect of always speaking the truth. It is the real truth consciousness which makes what you think become a reality. So Aurobindo envisages a period of time on earth where through the approach of the overmind, through Lord Krishna's approach towards overmind as given in Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Masuja. This is the starting point of Aurobindo's integral yoga. What Gita shows as the final approach towards life. Nashto moha smrutir labdha tat prasadat mayachyuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. This must be the integral approach towards life for every human being. This is what Aurobindo meant by his integral yoga. It is not that after reaching that state you will say, I will do your work. But it is here and now, at this present moment, when you have to say, Lord, thy will be done. In every little thing, in every positive and negative aspects, in every success and failure, always remember that it is the truth consciousness, the supermind, which is guiding us. And this divine protection, even in the Pondicherry days, we can find in the life of Aurobindo. When a particular rowdy was given a charge to drive Aurobindo away from Pondicherry, we find that he himself has to run away from Pondicherry. Aurobindo even did not know that such an approach was being made. And then we find another instant when a police detective wanted to incriminate Aurobindo by creating a false evidence. Even that failed when before the magistrate come, the housemaid discovered the tin box in which the false evidence was kept, and it was taken to the magistrate. And magistrate understood the scheme of the devils, but he just came to Aurobindo and wondered about his simplicity and his knowledge of Greek and Latin. This type of help. This type of divine intervention we can find in our daily life when we surrender ourselves to the integral yoga, to the supermind. Anyadha sharanam nasti, tvameva sharanam mama must be our motto. We should always remember that ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogatshemam vahamyaham is the promise of the supermind. And this particular promise should be our guiding light, should be our motto. And Aurobindo says that for the practitioner of integral yoga, there can be no hard and fast rules. His inner voice, his divine inspirer, his guru, the inner guru must guide you. But before that can happen, we have to train ourselves in the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali. You just can't say that supermind will guide me. You should allow the supermind to guide you. And to guide, to be driven by supermind, the most important thing is that your nature must change. Your approach towards life must change. Your mental complexities must be broken down, and one should be so pliable that the supramental force which comes down to you can come to the physical level without any inhibition. Are we sure? Can we say that we don't have any mental cobwebs, any emotional obstructions or physical handicaps which obstructs the flow of the super mind? For this you have to do a tremendous sadhana. And for this sadhana, the most important thing is you have to understand the rules and regulations of Patanjali Yoga Sutra and reach the various levels of samadhi before you can practice the integral yoga. This practice of integral yoga is not confined to Aurobindo alone. We find it in the life of Albert Einstein, where he could develop the latent powers of matter. If you can understand, it is the truth consciousness coming out of matter, the radioactivity. Unfortunately, Albert Einstein also couldn't finish his unified field theory. Similarly, we find this approach towards complete surrender to the supermind in Sri Ramana Maharshi, in his lifestyle, where he just wanted people to be still and know themselves. Knowing themselves means their physical, emotional, and mental approaches towards life must be still. I am giving these examples only to show that by the specific sadhana of Aurobindo, the entire world was affected. One more interesting thing which I want to share with you is how Aurobindo guided the world alone through the 2 wars. The yogic siddhis, the powers of the overmind and the intuitive mind can be utilized to control the destiny of nations.